What is up, guys? James Carter TV here for yet another edition of my 32 teams in 32 days 2015 NFL season preview videos I've been making throughout the month of August. And today we are talking about the Washington Redskins, and we are nearing the home stretch of this series. Now, if you've been watching this series, you've noticed, let me move this up a little bit. You've noticed that the way I've done this is I've looked at the roster, and by looking at the roster and looking at the schedule, I've determined how I believe the team will do. Now, with your team, Redskins fans, because I know a lot of you guys are watching this, I can't do it the same way exactly. Now, I'll do it, but the prediction I have you guys getting doesn't have too much to do with the roster or the schedule. It just has to do with the fact that, quite frankly, your team is a disaster. But I'll get into that later. Let's look at the roster just for the sake of doing it, and the schedule just for the sake of doing it. But as a spoiler alert, I don't like this football team. Now, there are some strengths on this football team. Number one, to me, is their wide receiving core. It's the strongest position to me. You have Deshaun Jackson, who, yes, may be a little bit of a one-trick pony, and may be a little bit of a headache, but you have him on one side. You have Pierre Garçon on the other side, who helped RG3 and had a really good season with RG3, his rookie season. And then you have Andre Roberts, who's not a bad number 3 guy, and Jamison Crowder out of Duke, who's been producing in training camp periods and someone to look out for. So the wide receiving core is pretty freaking good. Now, I also like your defensive line, and including Terrence Pot Roast Knighton in the middle of this defense, Stephen Paya, who you stole from the Chicago Bears, Ricky Jean-Francois, who you stole from the Indianapolis Colts. I don't think he's great. I think he's more of a run stopper than a pass rusher, but he can be a good defensive lineman for you. And Jason Hatcher, who can come in and pass rush every now and then. Your linebackers aren't very good outside of Ryan Kerrigan. And your tight ends aren't horrible either. So those two, the tight ends and linebackers, are kind of in the middle, leaning bad. Okay, now there's a lot of bad. All right, so the secondary is horrible. Now you sign Chris Culliver in free agency. You saw him for the San Francisco 49ers. Okay, fine. But then you have D'Angelo Hall, who's been on a steady decline for the past 4 years, okay? You have Bashaud Breeland, who can make a nice play every now and then, but right now, to me, isn't very good. David Emerson is a joke, and that's why he's not starting anymore. Your safeties are a disaster. Deshaun Goldson, who's nowhere near the player that he used to be. I don't know why you wasted your time getting him. I think you're starting Jared Johnson. I don't even know who you're starting at strong safety. And then you also drafted Jarrett there. Who knows what you're getting out of that position. So your secondary, especially your safeties, are a disaster. Your offense, your offensive line. Now, it actually doesn't sound too bad on paper when you have Pro Bowl Trent Williams on one side and Corey Lichtensteiger in the middle. But then I turn on the preseason game, and RG3 is getting sacked 6 times in the first 2 quarters, and he didn't even finish the second quarter. Now, so that just indicates to me that Trent Williams didn't play, but that just indicates to me that Corey Lichtensteiger might be on the decline. Your right guard position, you don't know. Brandon Scherff is just bad. He's just bad, which is a shame because you wasted the number 5 pick on him when you could have drafted a player that could have helped you right now. So your offensive line, it's a disaster now. Eric Huanjo could be in the mix a little bit, but your offensive line just has not performed well in the preseason at all. And then your quarterback position, it's bad. And I wish it wasn't, because I like RG3. I like RG3 the person. The player, he's not gonna get back to his original form. I mean, we've seen this story again and again and again with these players. They have one great season, and they never reached their final or their previous form because of injuries, because of coach issues, because of chemistry issues, or what have you. They just don't. And RG3 is just one of those players. It's unfortunate because I like RG3. But he's not going to play. If he's playing past, like if he's still starting at, like, let's say week 8, I will be shocked. Whether it be through injury or through benching, he won't be playing. And you can go ahead and bet on that. Then you have behind him Colt McCoy, who we've seen, we've tried, no. Kirk Cousins, who, yeah, I mean, he can have a nice game like against the Jacksonville Jaguars, but there's a reason that's like his only career win in his NFL career. Now, last season you guys went, what, 4-12? All right. Now, I guess you could say you improved through the draft. Everybody says that. Really, you didn't. You drafted Brandon Scherff, who doesn't play well. Okay, so really, you could have said you got worse. Second round, you drafted Preston Smith, I believe, who's not really going to play. Third round, you drafted, because Trent Murphy, Preston Smith may play on pass rushing downs, but Trent Murphy is really going to be on one outside position and Ryan Kerrigan on the other side. All right? You drafted Jamison Crowder. Okay, this is going to be your best rookie. But everyone says that they got improved through the draft. Everybody, all 32 teams will tell you that they improved through the draft. Okay, so get out of my face with that. Now, you did improve by adding Chris Culliver. Okay. And Stephen Paya and Ricky John Francois, a couple D linemen, and Terrence Knighton. You've completely revamped your defensive line. But how many more wins does that really amount to? And the biggest problem I have with this team, I just think Jay Gruden is just a joke. I think he's just a joke. I think he's a clown. I think this is just a disaster. When you see locker rooms like this that are just in turmoil, they're not on the same page, they're a disaster, they're a train wreck. We've all seen the story. And when you have a circumstance like this, when you have a locker room and a team under these circumstances playing well and doing well, it doesn't coincide. It doesn't happen. It's a disaster. And this season, to me, the roster isn't very good. Combined with the fact that there are so many issues in that locker room, it's going to be a disaster. It's going to be yet another disaster. Third straight year disaster for the Washington Redskins. And it's a shame because the NFL would like to see the Redskins do well. But it's not coming, guys. I do like Alfred Morris more than most. Your defensive line, again, has been revamped and is good. But there are still issues on this team. And there are still issues in that locker room. And issues on that coaching staff. And issues in that quarterback room. Way too much for me to ignore. Best case scenario, 5-11. That's the best you guys can do. If you guys can just come together and win a couple games, you know, should we even look at the schedule? Sure. You guys go up against the NFC East. Obviously, you're in it. Every team is better than you, okay? So, there's just issues there. The AFC East, every team is better than you. You also go up against the NFC North? No, not the North. South? NFC South. You could be better than the Buccaneers, but that's where the conversation ends. It's just, man, you guys aren't very good. Best case scenario, 5-11. Worst case, 2-14. My prediction, 3-13. I think it's a disaster. I mean, I really do. I think it's just a disaster. I think this Jay Gruden era is just horrible. I think you need to, once again, you need to tear it down and you need to rebuild. This Daniel Snyder era, whew, it's not working out. But when you have these issues, we could talk about the roster, we could talk about the schedule all we want. There's too many issues, and it's not conducive to a winning situation, and it's just that simple. Until next time, James Carter TV, I'm out. Peace.